name is Celia Woodbridge, and here we have a 2-year-old English Springer Spaniel male, and we are going to try and prepare him for the show ring. Now, for the purposes of this film, we've already bathed this dog, and I must say that usually what we do is do most of the trimming before we bath, and then just titivate after he's nice and clean and flat. Eddie is a liver and white dog, and a lot of the liver and white dogs actually do bleach out in the sun. So you get little orange bits on them, which is what we're normally pulling off. That would be what we call the dead hair. We're going to just start off with Eddie. We're just going to give him a comb through, make sure he hasn't got any tangles, and then we will just tidy him up, because the aim of this particular breed in the show ring is, of course, to show them as if they are perfectly natural. This dog, being only 2, has a full tail. One of the parts to really check is, of course, under the arms, because that's a favourite place for tangles. Even if you've got them ready and they're actually at the show, you might find one under there. Right, we shall start with his head and his neck, and I will do the clippering first. His neck, exactly the same as for the pet trim, under the chin and straight down to the breastbone. So that's lovely and smooth and clear. Well, I've got the clippers in my hand. I will also clipper his ears. Now, this is optional. A purist will do this with the thinning scissors. I'm afraid we do it with the clippers, and that tends to be the way most people prepare them for the ring these days. Wait. Hey, good boy. Good boy. Again, like with the pet trim, we will do roughly 1/3 of the leather. Sorry. The rest of the ear will be finished off with the thinning scissors. This is not something he enjoys. Wait, boy. I use a fine blade on this, although it has to be said that he was once prepared by somebody else and they cut him a little bit too close to the ears, and you'll see that there's a slight change of colour there where it's actually, you know, being clipped too close. Once it's done, you have no option, you have to continue. The rest of his head is prepared by hand. We'll brush the hair forward on the top of the head, and then with a latex glove on, excuse me, I will pull the hair by hand, stay there please, until it's smooth. You can also use finger stools or rubber thimbles. We find this more convenient. So with a comb, pull the hair forward so I can see what's got to come off, and then pull the hair with the thimbles. Keep doing that. Combing forward all the time to check on progress. If the dog had a really thick top of the head, you could use a hand stripping knife, which would reduce the thickness. This dog's got actually quite a nice smooth head, although he didn't have as a puppy. It took me about 3 weeks to get the top of his head off with finger and thumb. Top of the ears here. Again, we might finish that and blend it into the ear with a stripping knife, which I'll do in a minute. And at the back here, all the long bits off. And we just continue until the whole of the top of the head is smooth. On the top of his ears, pulling it that way, very lightly. Use a stripping knife just to smooth it into where I've clipped. You can achieve the same effect with light use of thinning scissors as well. We'll then reduce the hair on inside of the ear, and all this is done with the thinners. Turning the ear back, we thin this. At the top, isn't something he enjoys particularly, but he's being very good. Was the original reason for trimming a spaniel's ears was just to keep the air circulating and prevent infection. So they've always been thinned where the head meets the top of the ear, but the show dogs have, the show trim exaggerates that slightly by dropping it fairly low. We then remove the hair from underneath the ear so that the ears lie flat against the head. And again, trim under the ear. Get rid of all that fluff. I'll just repeat the process on the other ear. When I bath the dogs, I always clean their ears just before I bath them. So they get filthy ears inside. So it's a very good opportunity to make sure that the ears are clean. And I use a veterinary ear cleanser, just clean them out with cotton wool before I pop them in the bath. Always make sure that their ears are dried very fast after they've had a bath, just to stop them getting all steamy, and it helps prevent infection. Some springers get a little bit of hair on the cheeks. This can be quite long when they're puppies, and rather than put it on their faces, we do just give them a little bit of a scissor there to take away the long hair. And now start thinning in the neck and shoulders. Sit. Good boy. All right, put the ear over so that you've got it nice and tight, and then thin all this excess hair until it's smooth. Good boy. What I will use with this is a slicker. Less is always more, so the thin side of the neck here where it gets quite thick, bring it down. And the aim here is to end up with a nicely blended body line. By stretching the coat, you can see We'll also blend in some of the little hairs that stick out at the top of the leg here. Because that then shows the shoulder off to advantage. And you get a neater effect if you can hand strip it in. It's done. So you get sort of one done, one not done. I'll then do the other side to match. We'll then thin some of the thickness on the shoulder, again with the thinning scissors, being a little bit careful not to take too much out. Keep still for me. Going underneath. You could spend forever just tweaking, but basically just get, we have one more thing to do and then we have completed the head. Now, if his ears were untidy at the bottom, I would just, sorry Danny, just neaten the edges. But I don't want a sort of sculpted look to the bottom of the ears. I'll have a look at those. And then I will just neaten off this edge. So with straight scissors, I just neaten off the edge of the ear. Repeat the process on the other side. I'm just neatening where they blend into the clipped part of the ear. Now, most show dogs have their whiskers removed, and Eddie's no exception. It's entirely personal choice. We prefer to have the cleaner head. We will then just take them off. You can do this with rounded ended scissors if you're worried about stabbing the dog. there we have the finished head. So where he has his spots, we just go over those and just take them out with the finger and thumb. So that his leg is smooth. And then just thin the hair. This dog has his dew claws still, so we want to make that look neat as well. And take off any hair that spoils the outline into the leg feathering. And again, we take any excess hair from under the foot take the hair out to the foot, the bottom of the, in between the toes. And pull the hair up between the toes and thin. Edit that out. And I'll just neaten the edge. Keep still. Keep still. I'm trying to create as round a foot as possible. This boy hasn't got the best feet in the world. So we create an illusion of roundness by just going above the level I went on with the clip dog. And then we'll trim these nails back as far as we can also to create that illusion. With his leg feathering, he's not overly feathered. We will just neaten the bottom edge with the straight scissors. And trim the nails. And the other foot the same. We then do the back feet, exactly the same as we did the front, making it appear as round and cat-like as possible. And then to the hair on the back of the hocks. We used to do this really, really close, but the fashion has changed slightly, so it's now left a little longer. So basically you just brush it up, shorten it slightly, and brush it down and neaten it off with the sharp scissors. Then go up to the back of the dog. And the hair can be thinned so that it all sits flat at the back. And then the tail. Long tails, of course, we're still all, there's no right or wrong way to present a long tail. Some people have them quite short. Some people have quite a full tail, similar to a golden retriever. With this one, I take it reasonably short, particularly as the original bit that would have been docked tends to curl round. So I think it looks a bit silly. So we keep it quite short. And because he's got quite a long tail, we normally cut at the dock, at the end of the tail, the tip. So we do it with the full tail version as well. And then scissor this in. To whatever length you prefer. And then just neaten the whole tail. This is best done before they're bathed, really. I'll just get rid of any excess. And then we just literally titivate, taking anything that sticks out off. And he's done. Well, we've completed the actual trimming, but as this particular dog's coat is slightly wavy, we would, before we take him in the show ring, we would spray this with water and then pop him in a silk-lined coat, which would then flatten it completely, so the dog I present would then be absolutely flat. So there are always secrets that all of us use to enhance our dogs.